What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here for Stokastic.com, back again with the NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Tuesday, April 25th. Now, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman, and sign up for the lineup generator. Less than $5 for your first week. Link in the description. We generate thousands of lineups. We get rid of the ones that stink. We give everything else to you. Click save if you like it. Click discard. Another one pops right up. Balanced builds, chalky builds, contrarian builds. You can lock players. You can swap players. You can export up to 20 via CSV. This is a tool that is going to improve your DFS results. I'm confident in that. Now, we're rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Al Horford, Kevin Durant, Karl Anthony Towns, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. 3 straight 3-name people. That is something else. Anyway, who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up at number 5, I'm going to Mike Conley. Point guard eligible, 5,800, projected for 30.5. The goal is 32. He's in the optimal lineup 34% of the time. He's been playing massive minutes. They really ramped him up in the playoffs. I got him in for 37. He's not very good on a per minute basis, though. 0.82 fantasy points per minute in this spot. Pace down, not the best matchup in the world. Not for Mike Conley, at least. 14 points, 6 assists, 4 boards. It's a solid stat line. It's really the price tag that's getting him into that number 5 spot. A stock and a half as well. For someone with this minute ceiling, if Minnesota is in this game, and they're pretty sizable dogs here, 9.5 points, but if Minnesota stays in this game, we're getting big minutes out of Conley. And at 5,800, I think that works. In at number 4, we have Norm Powell, shooting guard, small forward, eligible 6,900, projected for 36. The goal is 37.5. He's in the optimal lineup 35% of the time. Just playing massive minutes now. No Paul George, no Kawhi Leonard. I got him in for 36. I think he can get up to 40 if it's competitive. But again, Clippers are 12.5-point dogs in this one. 25 points for Norm Powell on 29% usage. He's around a fantasy point per minute, but it's mostly scoring. If that ball's not going in, you're not getting the value with Norm Powell, particularly at 6,900. But like I said, 25 real points, 4 boards, 2.5 assists, and a stock and a half. Somebody's got to score for the Clippers. If it's not Norm Powell, they're probably not in the game all that much. Go ahead and get yourself some Storm and Norman. To Atlanta we go for $9,900 Trae Young. Should be a much better day for Young, at least in terms of individual stats, because DeJounte Murray isn't going to be here for this one. They're also 13-point underdogs, so this is going to be a really scary slate. 51.5-point projection, 52.5-point goal. He's in the optimal lineup 35% of the time. Just a rate bump across the board for Trae Young. 35% usage, 39 minutes, 1.3 fantasy points per minute, 28.5 real points, 12 assists, 4 boards, and a stock and a half. He should light it up, or at least light it up as much as he can. In a weird way, it's troublesome for Trae Young. Just because of his size, the way that Boston can defend, they can throw a lot more at Trae without having DeJounte Murray out there. It's going to be scary for Trae Young, but he's going to have every opportunity to take every shot he wants. In at number 2, opposite team, much better situation, honestly. Shooting guard, small forward eligible, Jaylen Brown. That flexibility is great. The fact that he's 8,300 is insane. Projected for 45. The goal's 44.5. He ends up in the optimal lineup 42% of the time. 39 minutes for Jaylen Brown. They're obviously big favorites, so you're sort of hoping to avoid the massive blowout. 31% usage. He's a 1.15 guy. 29 points, like 29 real points. I think Jaylen Brown scores as much as Trae Young does today. That's kind of nuts to think about. Just a couple extra minutes and, slightly more efficient too. 7 boards, 3.5 assists, a stock and a half. It's the position that changes everything. If you're just point guard, you're sort of limited. The fact that you can get put in either one of the shooting guard spots, either one of the small forward spots, that flexibility is what gets Jaylen Brown to that 2 spot. Guys, the lineup generator is $4.48. You see it on the screen. Scan the QR code, click the link in the description. If you don't like it during your first week, just cancel. You're out $4.48. That's not a bad deal for trying to get better at DFS. My number 1 contender for today is Aaron Gordon. Very much a position thing. Power forward only, 5,800. Projected 32, goals 32. Optimal lineup 44% of the time. I got him playing 33 minutes. These guys have ramped up a bit. I think Denver probably wants to end this right now in Denver, not have to travel any longer. 20% usage for Gordon, 16 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, and a stock and a half. No Kyle Anderson on the opposite side. I don't think that matters at all really for Gordon, but It's a really nice spot. It's a Minnesota defense that you're not super worried about. You know Gordon's going to be out there for legitimate starter minutes. He's a fantasy point per minute guy. It's power forward that is tricky to fill today, but it's pretty efficient to do it when you use Aaron Gordon, my number one contender. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Tuesday, April 25th. DraftKings version is around here somewhere, so check it out. Good luck tonight, everybody. Win some money. We are back again tomorrow morning for another edition of the Contenders.